Hey guys, it's Blu-rayDave back with another MCU type video with the Kang Dynasty and the Secret Wars. Basically, that trilogy now, right around the corner. Why don't we talk about like theories and speculations regarding really the Kang Dynasty first, because we don't want to get ahead of ourselves by jumping into the Secret Wars. I mean, we know what the Secret Wars is about. It's about the multiversal war, and it's something that we've learned in Loki. I never thought we would get to this point, guys. Like, back in the day when Phase 4 was starting, we all thought WandaVision, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Multiverse of Madness were going to be like a trilogy for the multiverse, right? Like, did Kevin Feige even say the multiverse saga when he announced Phase 4? Or did he just say it like as kind of like a last minute thing? But I want to get the obvious one out of the way first for Secret Wars. So it's already been confirmed that Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman will be reprising their roles as Spider-Man and Wolverine, right? Like, we're finally going to get that crossover, guys, in Secret Wars. And it's funny how people on the internet, they every other few months, they keep saying, like, oh, by the way, Toby and Andrew have been confirmed for Secret Wars. Like, yeah, we know. Like, this isn't anything, like, new to us. Like, tell us something that we don't know, right? So, I can't believe I forgot about this, but thank God I recently did a little bit of research. As far as we know, I don't know if it's going to be for the whole Secret Wars trilogy, but, like, the Kang Dynasty is going to be, like, Tom Holland's Peter Parker is going to be the main focus, right? And that is a huge deal, especially when it comes to the Avengers, because in the past 4 movies, like, there has been certain characters that they've been kind of like the main focus of, but but they're not really leading the Avengers. Like, even I knew in the Avengers that Tony wasn't the main focus. He just felt more of like a, not like a sidekick, but just kind of like a DLC in a way. It felt more and more of Cap, which is pretty good because, you know, he's the first Avenger, right? So we don't really know who's leading the Avengers now. Is it gonna be Sam Wilson because he's Captain America? I mean, if Peter were to fill in those shoes to take up, like, as the leader of the Avengers, man, like, he's already into college now. Like, he doesn't need that on his plate right now, right? So leave that to Sam, really. This is gonna be so cool, though. Like, my gosh. So, of course, what we have to expect from the Kang Dynasty is that before even the multiversal war starts, we have to expect older recruits and newer recruits joining together, and, well, they can't just do it at random because Kang would have to, like, start crap up first, right? And then that's when they band together, and then eventually we'll get the Young Avengers. Okay, so basically we're gonna have the New Avengers first, and then the Young Avengers, right? Oh my gosh. And I really do mean this when I say this, guys. I've said this a few times in previous videos. I really hope that Marvel keeps Jonathan Majors. Like, we all know that his court date is on the 13th of June, right? I apologize in advance, guys. Like, I haven't been following up with this case for a while now. Like, this has been going on for, like, what, 2 months now? At least this is more important than the stupid Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial from last year. Like, this is more important. And I'm honestly happy that Disney and Marvel didn't say anything about Majors yet. But after watching him play He Who Remains and a Kang variant in the MCU, like, just like, yes, like, I want to see more of Jonathan Majors. Like, he is such a good actor. Like, he knows how to play a good Kang. Again, this is pretty much not a theory, but let's just get that out of the way. Like I said, like, do you think, like, Kang will start crap first, so that way the Avengers will be able to band together again? Like, oh my gosh. And also, who would be there besides Spider-Man, Captain America, Captain Marvel, possibly Doctor Strange? Who knows about frickin' Superior Iron Man? Like, if Tom Cruise is gonna be on board. Jeez. Deadpool, maybe. Because Deadpool 3 is supposed to come first, right? Before Kang Dynasty. My gosh. And also, how would you set up the Young Avengers, right? Would it have to be in this movie or in the Secret Wars? Because you got to have, like, the big leagues take over first, and let's say something bad happens to them, and then the Young Avengers take initiative. You know, that's what I would expect from a movie standpoint, right? Um, and hopefully we'll get Miles. That'll be pretty cool. Um, I just really hope people aren't gonna assume that everything Marvel that has been done in the past is gonna be in Secret Wars. I mean, we know that the old X-Men is coming back. Old Fantastic Four. Um, Seriously, I would love to see Tom Kane reprise his role as the old Punisher, and then Ben Affleck has been in talks with Marvel again to reprise his role as Daredevil. Like, oh my gosh, guys! Again, I really don't want to get too much into that because, like I said, like, we need to focus on the Kang Dynasty first. Like, ever since they announced those two projects last summer, I've been mostly focused on the Secret Wars because it sounds more interesting because, you know, the multiverse. But can you imagine Ben Affleck's Daredevil and Charlie Cox's Daredevil, like, they they meet. Actually, somewhere on social media, right, I saw someone had a roster of, like, what are the Avengers we're gonna see in the Kang Dynasty, and Daredevil was definitely one of them. Like, oh my gosh, I can't wait when Daredevil, Star Lord, and anybody else who's willing to, like, team up with the Avengers. Like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I feel like Daredevil could lead Peter into, this kind of responsibility, this maturity to be an Avenger, really. Even if Daredevil is not an Avenger, you know? We'll take what we can get, right? I mean, honestly, let's all admit this, guys. It's been pretty much confirmed that Daredevil will come back for Spider-Man 4. And honest to God, I hope the Defenders will come back. Seriously, like, that's been the rumor. Well, one of the rumors for Spider-Man 4 that the Defenders might actually pop up. I have a theory on that one on how they could slowly reintroduce the Defenders in that one. Like, don't have Peter be with all of them together, right? Just have them be with one at a time, and they'll give him some friendly advice. So, like, hey, start with Iron Fist, right? Danny Rand, and then you end with Daredevil, right? I think it would be too much to bring the Punisher into Spider-Man 4. because it would be like cramming so much stuff into this soft reboot movie, right? But, hey, I would love to hear your theories and thoughts, like what other characters have been confirmed for the King Dynasty. So yeah, obviously, of course, we wouldn't expect Toby and Andrew to return in that movie first. That would have to come in like Secret Wars, at least the first part. I feel like in the first part you would have to bring in half of everyone, because if you bring in everyone into that part, who knows what part two is gonna bring? Like, so you have to keep it in balance, right? Like, just slowly keep reintroducing everyone until, like, you're done revealing everyone in the last part, right? And where are these talks with Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Iron Man? Like, is it actually legit? I mean, hey, I wouldn't be surprised if he came back, but and with Chris Hemsworth's medical conditions right now, I think this could be the perfect way to. Well, this sounds pretty harsh, right? Like the perfect way. Jeez, like to like kill off Thor, because who knows when Hemsworth's memory is gonna become worse. There's no way of sugarcoating it. Dementia. He doesn't have dementia right now, but he's got some of the stuff that will lead to it. So like, oh my gosh. And even after Endgame, I remember like he wanted to really take a break from acting and spend a lot of time with his family, which is good. So I feel like really after this trilogy, he's gonna like really take a break from acting and spend time with his family, of course. And I would really love for Hawkeye to come back. Seriously, like, I'm still thinking about Jeremy Renner. Like, I really hope that. I haven't heard anything as of late about him. Like, hopefully, they didn't cut off his leg, because otherwise, how are they going to explain Hawkeye like that in the upcoming projects, right? Still, it was very messed up with what happened to him. Like, what a great way to start off the new year, right? Almost getting crushed to death. I mean, I've heard that he's doing much better now. That's good, but I haven't heard any other specific details, but we'll see. You know what I don't get, guys? I mean, I'm happy that this is finally becoming a Disney Plus series. Nomad, right? And it'll be produced by both Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson. Well, here's the thing. Recently, Scarlett Jo has announced, like, she's done with Marvel. But she's coming back for Nomad. Like, how can you say you're done with Marvel even though you're hoping Chris Evans with this? Because she will come back as Black Widow for a limited time, of course, because who knows what Steve Rogers is going to do with the timeline, like, of course he would want to return her to her perspective timeline, like, or is it respective time? I don't know. I'm just going to say perspective. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I get it why Scarlett would be done with Marvel, because after what happened in 21 when Black Widow, the movie, came out and she didn't get most of the shares and she felt cheated out of it, which, I wouldn't blame her. Like, honestly, ScarJo, you need to stay in the MCU for a little bit longer, because I really do feel like we were cheated out of this movie. I know it wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. Unfortunately, some creative decisions were poorly made for that movie. Like, we were all expecting an origin story, like a rated R, graphic, kind of gory Black Widow origin story. Like, some people were even speculating that this is gonna be a trilogy as well. I believe that. So we just need two more movies of Black Widow. Um, I mean, hey, what could a hypothetical second movie could be based off of? I feel like you could end the third one with her origin story just to like make that story complete. Um, maybe like maybe in the second part, again hypothetically speaking, they could like show her like what she's been doing in the last 5 years between Infinity War and Endgame. Like I feel like that could be cool. And then you end off the third one with her origin story. Like, oh my gosh, guys. My favorite part about Guardians 3, guys, is that Disney pushed the boundaries like they've always talked about. So now that we got that, well, okay, this isn't the first time that they've done this, though. Like, sure, I loved how graphic it became, but, like, this isn't the first time that they've gone out like this. No. I know that they're really testing out the waters with this, so, like, once when Marvel Zombies comes out, oh my gosh, guys. That's going to be like the MCU's very first MA show, and we'll see how that goes. I believe Deadpool 3 is supposed to be rated R, right? Because even though it'll be made by Disney, but like they're going to approve of it, like, oh my gosh. I mean, let's face it, guys, we're no longer going to have the clean MCU. Like, sure, the MCU could still be for everyone, right? Um, But at the same time, when you're getting into the MCU, not everything is gonna be for you, right? That, again, not to sugarcoat it, like it's just the truth, you know. Like, sure, I can't force other people to like every single project that comes out. Like, hey, some of the stuff that have came out from Disney Marvel in the last 2 years, like I didn't like most of them because yeah, they were rushed and like the plots and stories were bad. Like, my gosh. Well, of course, you know you have your few exceptions, of course. Um, I really don't. I really don't understand why. You guys need to answer this to me in the comments like after this video. Why is Quantum Mania hated so much? Why? Is it because they had a bigger budget and they took a lot of turns, big risks? That's part of movie making, guys. Like, you gotta take risks. And who doesn't want a Marvel Star Wars crossover, huh? I would die for that. Seriously. I felt like this year really started off good with Quantum Mania. I mean, hey, look at it. Look at it this way, guys. In a few years' time, people are gonna look at that film. You know, like just like with Dark World, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I remember this movie actually being pretty good." I, of course, granted, I do prefer Guardians 3 over that movie, but hey, at least you know, Quantum Mania offered a lot. Like, when I heard that Kang was going to be the villain for this movie, no doubt in my mind, I had some concerns of thinking, like, why would they put, like, a powerful villain into this, I guess, smaller MCU movie, if you will? But, like, again, this one's a variant, so it's not the real Kang, because we don't know who's going to be the real Kang until the Kang Dynasty and the Secret Wars, right, guys? Yep. Um, I mean, another perfect example for me for a decent MCU movie is Spider-Man: Far From Home. Um, I've talked about this all the time on the channel. Like, the reason why I think it's an okay Spider-Man movie, especially in the MCU, is that Disney wanted all of they wanted all of the profits because not only that was like the best summer movie, but it beat all other Sony movies. Like it made, I'm pretty sure it made billions in the box office, right? Like, and that's a big deal for a Spider-Man movie. So, and Sony had to take initiative by quote unquote taking him out of the MCU. Imagine if Sony's still stuck with that, guys, and they would still make Tom Holland Spider-Man movies without Disney involved. Like, how would you explain Tom Holland's Peter Parker's appearances in the main canon? Like, it wouldn't be relevant anymore, right? I've had those scary, deep thoughts when that happened that summer. Like, oh my gosh. It was kind of it was kind of a frickin' meme too, guys. Like, oh my gosh. But again, you never know. Maybe Disney and Sony did plan that for that to happen, and then they got us worried over nothing. That was the theory. So if that is true, guys, again, you can let me know in the comments below about that. Um, but yeah, I've always loved and appreciated Dark World, though. Even like when they showed it in Endgame, just like, yeah, let's go. Like, it's funny to hear how the fans cheered for it during Endgame. Like, oh, so this movie you thought was crap in the last few years, like, you think it's like good for you guys now? Like, come on, this is like the Andrew Garfield scenario back in 2014. Like, again, people were cheering for him in No Way Home, and then of course Andrew at the very end in interviews he was found like, where were you guys in 2014? Like, yeah, of course there's fake fans. I don't know. I got no other theories for the Kang Dynasty right now, but once one of those theories actually start, like other theories will start coming into the light. Like that's gonna be a lot of stuff that we're gonna talk about in the next 2 or so years. Um, Isn't the theory going around that they might actually start production on the Kang Dynasty early January of next year? Like, or I I meant to say like early 2024, right? Because when you also think about it, I don't know if it was early 2017, but like when Disney and Marvel started production on both Infinity War and Endgame back to back, like, um, man, I remember those good old days when we speculated, like, oh, when's the Infinity War trailer coming out? Like, we knew it was coming out in November. We thought it was gonna come out Thanksgiving, but it came out. It came out before that, right? But then I think Disney. I think they made a post saying like, "Oh, this trailer's coming out tomorrow, or whatever." Like, oh yeah, let's go. So maybe they could do the same thing with the Kang Dynasty, and plus, like, hey, yeah, since this is gonna be a trilogy now, they're gonna go back to back with Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. And I really hope that Cap actually comes back as an old man and does what he does from the comics. Like, oh man, I don't know if I'm prepared for this one. Well, okay, well, obviously, it's not out right now. They're not shooting principal photography for it right now. But like, once when all the Marvel Earths, like the different Marvel properties, like combined into one Earth, like, oh man, the possibilities are endless, guys. Which means we're gonna have multiple, and I mean multiple heroes. Like, so many different doppelgangers, right? Like, oh my gosh. Whew. That just makes me so happy to hear stuff like that. Like, oh man. Yeah, this version of Secret Wars, like the movie, it's gonna be more based off of the 2015 comics, which I was kind of aware of that comic book line in 2015, but I had other stuff to worry about. Yeah. Um. Again, okay, what's the final verdict? I mean, I hope I'm right on some of these points that I pointed out. I mean, it's very rare for me to get a theory correct because even before Infinity War came out, I still have the video up, guys. You can look for it in season 3, where he talked about Star-Lord versus Iron Man. Like, that theory became true. Like, I didn't even specify, I'm pretty sure I didn't even specify how the fight was going to go, but, like, I was in the theater thinking, like, yes, I got a theory correct. Like, oh my gosh, it felt so good. Even 2018, that was when they announced the Black Widow movie, like, oh my gosh. Um, yeah, I'm hoping for San Diego Comic-Con this summer. Like, I wish I could go, but, like, I hope Kevin announces a Heroes for Hire Disney Plus series because I know Finn Jones wants that to be a reality. Like, yes, we need to have both our boys, Luke Cage and Danny Rand, fight along side by side each other. Like, oh my gosh. I recently just rewatched Luke Cage Season 2, Episode 10. I really wish they could have just renamed it Heroes for Hire. Like, just like seeing him and Danny just like doing what they do. Like, coming out of like the Defenders. Like, oh my gosh. It's pretty cool. Alright, I'm going to sign off now. So, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Excuse me. Please on the post notification bell to share my content if you haven't already. And like I said, like, feel free to leave your theories and speculations in the comments below. Like, what do you think they're going to do with the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars? Because, again, I have a few ideas, but some of them might not become true, but we'll see. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for inviting me. The Lord be with you guys. Always love you guys. Peace out, guys.